real estate is headline news. Like I mentioned, we're in talks with CMHC. The government is aware. Everybody knows that there's no supply. It's front page. It's front page on whatever you're scrolling. It's all about the housing supply. We kind of alluded to, Dylan talked about, maybe there's going to be increased taxes on equity, and well, I guess the American version, Uncle Sam, is going to be in our pocket, and the liberal government or whoever's in power is going to have to make some of that money back that they put out. But have you heard of any rules coming into effect for whether it's investors or what do we need to be aware of, or how do we set ourselves up to make sure that we're not getting? It's all about keeping the money that we're investing and trying to make. So what do we do?
Well, there's been quite a few changes in the past couple of months, years, right? Mainly, believe it or not, on a municipal level. That's really where everyone's looking at these days, right? Now, flavor changes on how much money you're going to be paying out in taxation per city. Hamilton's a lot different from Welland and London and Toronto now, right? And you're seeing that from the bills that are being changed. So it's funny because everyone sort of looks at the federal level, and that is incredibly important for your taxation. But nowadays, you're looking at your large expenses coming out from a lot of municipal bylaw changes. And those things are eating up significant amount of portfolios. So it's getting more and more important to know your ward councillor and how they're voting on certain bills. I know here in Hamilton, there's been a massive change on how people consider and how they move forward on taxation, and then rent control. That's a big thing these days, right? So certain cities will have it now, other ones don't. Toronto being the main one, having a really significant push, and Hamilton now going slowly over into the same thing. You're seeing a huge change in how investors are having to act and repurpose and change, and depending on how big the investor community inside certain areas are, you can see the influence moving in one direction or the other. These days, people are getting more and more organized, and you're starting to see that eat significantly into profits these days. So, it's in regards to where the best sort of shift is, it's kind of hard to tell as of right now, because risk is where where the reward is. Hamilton's still looking good with all those prices increasing day after day. Dylan's changed me completely on the apartment building, the aspects on that. Like, I initially was a lot more duplex and triplex, and then I felt like Grant Cardone after seeing him making his purchases, and now I'm looking at something in Africa. I'm gonna try to move something out there, get my 150 units. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. A quick comment from Dylan or Brian or both on the investors that you guys work with. What are they doing, or what are you recommending? And Dylan, great point. You're not an accountant. You're not lawyers. We have those even here tonight with Andrew.
I throw it out there. So I just saying.
For sure.
That's my accountant and lawyer tell me, but I'm not going to claim to be one of those.
Absolutely. And that's why we have some amazing sponsors and right partners that are those professions. But from your perspective, you're working with real estate investors. What advice do you give them to kind of be ready for some of the changes? Andrew mentioned as taxation. How do you find more cash flow? Can you put a granny suite in? Can you have a basement apartment in the granny suite now? Like, I know you're always about adding units, finding more revenue in those deals. So I'll go to Dylan first, and then Brian for some comment after that.
Highest and best use is one of my favorite terms. I'm all about it. And I guess those who don't know me, please reach out. I'm more than happy to build out a customized plan. It's something I offer to all potential clients. It's just, especially Right Club members. I mean, this is somewhere I've been since day one, day two, actually. We always joke about that. So, and I knew I'd get a smile from you, Alfonso. So yeah, day two.